price. I'm a boss, I'm a leader. I pull up in my two-seater, and my mama was a savage. Nigga got this shit from Tina. I'm a savage.
Hello. Welcome to the E-Spot. I'm Camille, your host for the evening, and I cannot wait for you to meet my guest tonight. She answered my begging call when my original guest was not feeling so well and wasn't able to make it in today. And as soon as she answered, I was like, please, I know I'm getting ready to ask a friend request, and we're not friends yet, but will you please be my guest? And she said yes. So I am so excited. I will not waste any more time talking about myself. It is all about Maya Table. She is a director, producer, digital strategist, and she just went viral for that video, the little clip that you saw of Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, performing as a dancer. And I cannot wait for you to meet her, Miss Maya Table. She's a phenom. I mean, I'm looking at her resume and can't believe she's done it all in such a little amount of time because she's so young at the same time. Welcome, Maya. I'm so excited to have you here today. And thank you again for saving me.
Thank you so much. No problem. This is fun.
Oh, I was so excited because I was planning to have you on next week anyway. So it's not like it was completely out of the blue, but it's I think even more time sensitive in this fact that it was just a couple of days ago. You just happened to go viral for that video that you did, not only with Tina Knowles, but you also had another video that went viral with Uncle Pucci. So tell me a little bit about your start, and then we'll get up to what you've got going on now.
Okay. I just want to say the timing is also perfect because I had a Zoom call this morning where I put this hat and wig on. And so when you called, I was like, oh yeah, I'm already camera ready.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Zoom. I love all these webinars. It just makes you always ready for me.
Me too. So I got started when I was in college. I went to Georgia State University and my major was film and video. And from there, I worked at a student lab called the Digital Aquarium. And at the aquarium, I had to learn the equipment and programs to be able to teach other students. So that was super helpful for me to learn it, well enough to teach. And then from there, I interned on a bunch of music video sets for like 2 years. And then as soon as I graduated, I immediately got into producing because I had a friend that wanted to be a director. So I was like, sure. I didn't know it was producing. I just knew that I knew how to figure stuff out. And I was also editing, shows for people. And then also Sierra, the singer, and I had a dance agency. So me and her started our dance agency at that time too. So that's a lot of random facts.
Wait, what? So you have a dance agency with Sierra?
It did. That was actually a month after I graduated out of college. We started because in college I had a dance agency that I started because I was a dancer. And then one of my clients was her manager, and he was like, I want you to meet my client. I'm like, who is this client? And came in and it was her. So we worked together for about 2 years.
Okay. So, wow, that's exciting. So do you still do any dancing, or is it just behind the camera for now?
Behind the camera, I do like dance classes and stuff like that. But yeah, and every here and there for my birthday, I'll drop some type of dance video that normally does pretty well.
Well, I can't wait. When's your birthday? I'm gonna make sure.
October 25th.
Okay.
You should go back and watch even the last one that I did went viral actually on my birthday.
So you know how to go viral.
Well, my stuff is silly. That's why.
Well, I love it because I know when I saw it. Well, first you were like 3 a.m. antics. I'm like, okay, well, I'm at 3 a.m. I don't think of really fun stuff to make with Beyonce's mom.
You were delusional at that time. It's just like, I don't even know what's happening.
So neat and just so outside of the box too. Just that, to find the dancer. Did you have a relationship with the dancer beforehand? I feel like I should give her credit for her name, but
no. But I followed her on Instagram for about a year or so, and she's amazing. And so that kind of video I wanted to do for a while. But I just didn't have like the right song or content. And sorry, that's my dog in the back barking.
No, mine's barking as well. I don't know if you can hear it, so no worries at all. We love dogs.
But so I knew that, like a lot of times I have concepts of what I want to do, but I just don't have all the right parts. So that concept I wanted to do for some months now. And so when that song came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. And then the dancer, I followed her for a minute. And so I remember seeing her video a week ago. And I was like, it was so perfect because it was just her in the middle. There was no background. And it was just very clean. So it just kind of came together perfectly.
Yeah, don't judge my editing. I literally just
I
learn
don't,
it
I
since
don't
coronavirus?
judge.
Because I told you I got a new toy, but I didn't realize the sound volumes were so different when I cut between my music and the Beyonce music. I was like, ah, and of all the times for me to
No, it is okay. It's
but even
okay.
still, I'm learning. I just want to make sure I put that out there that I'm teaching myself at the same time.
Yes.
So you started off with dancing. You have been doing film. You've done so much. So I feel like I just want to go through different things that I've noticed in your resume that stuck out to me that have been really big films, or at least to me, they have been. With Hair Love. That's a
Oh.
huge movie. It won an award, and you worked on it as the digital producer. What exactly does that mean as a digital producer?
Well, actually, I was one of many digital producers. That basically was people that were just gave money for the Kickstarter campaign. So
Okay.
it was probably about a good 100 of us.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Mhm, mhm.
so
Because
that's
before it became like super hype behind it, he reached out to he just kind of put it out on his platforms. And I was like, oh, this sounds cool. So
mhm.
that was more of the people that were like at the beginning stages. So it was cool to see it like develop. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was a part of it, like for real.
I mean, it's such a cute film,
It
and
is.
the whole concept I can totally relate to, having a curly haired girl myself. So it's just
Mhm.
like,
Me too. All the
oh.
curly hair under this hat here.
Oh my gosh,
This
your hair is
wig has got me.
beautiful.
This wig is like, got me looking real cute.
Well, from the expert that I had on last week, Kimberly Kimball, or Kim Kimball, excuse me, she did
Oh,
say that protective styles is all the
mhm.
rage right now to protect
Yes.
our dresses. So you're doing the right
Oh,
thing.
Kim's
Speaking of
awesome.
Beyonce.
Speaking of Beyonce.
So okay, so again, like I'm looking at your resume and I see T.I., 21 Savage, Tiana Taylor, Janelle Monáe, Travis Scott, Apple, Mulatto, Saweetie, Two Chains, Casanova, Summer Walker, Mulatto, Little Yachty. Like I could just go on and on and on. Like, what do you think is I mean, how did you get into music videos, and what do you look for when you're choosing a project, to whether or not to work on it or not? What moves you?
So before I was taking anything like when I first started some years ago because I needed to, get my experience up. So I did music videos for maybe about a good 6 years before I start saying, okay, let me decide on which projects I'm not going to take. But my
Mhm.
friend that wanted to be a director back in the day was my first director I started to work with.
Okay.
And it was easy for me because I understood the full scope of production and I didn't know what I was doing was producing. And then so I started producing. I think the first one I did was the B.O.B. I'll Be in the Sky video. And then because what happens is
Very
it's all
small, just a little BOB. No big deal.
it's all like kind of word of mouth. So we did
Okay.
that. And then the label at the time was Def Jam. And the commissioner was like, well, hey, can you guys do this video? I think we did one for Rocco. And then we did all of Jeezy's Recession album.
Mm.
And then after that album, so we did like My President is Black, all those videos. And then after that is when I started working with other directors. I was like, okay, let me work with other people too.
Okay.
And then from there, it's just been word of mouth. So when people come to Atlanta, then they'll say, hey, let me, ask Maya. And Janelle Monáe specifically wanted a female producer, woman of color. So that worked out for me really well.
I gotta appreciate those who understand the importance of having diversity, not only in
Yes.
front of the camera, but behind the
Mhm.
camera as
Yes.
well. Because
Hmm.
it, um, it doesn't have to be completely 100% one race or the other, but I do
Hmm.
think that having that diversity where it's a little bit of everyone, you
Hmm.
make a product that represents everyone, so everyone feels included and can watch and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And considering there's so few women that work behind the scenes, especially as producers and directors, my hat's off to you, because I can count on one hand how many women directors and producers, even photographers for that matter, that I've worked with. And
Yeah. And they're starting to be like more and more. And I think that like when you know one, you know a bunch of them. So
mhm.
I think people or women are starting to get more confidence in themselves and starting to say, you know what, I can do this, you
Yeah.
know. Hmm.
So I have to ask, what is it like being a woman producer on some of these hip hop music videos? Because you're working with a lot of men, and there's a lot of reputations and egos and so on that might be on that set. How do you handle all of that?
I think everyone has kind of their way of leading, and I'm the type of leader that's kind of like a soft alpha. So I don't have to walk around being all boastful, saying like I am the producer, all that kind of stuff. A
Right.
lot of times when I'm on set, people think that like they've asked, "Are you the caterer? Are you the makeup artist? Are you the talent?" I'm like,
Well, I
"I'm
mean, part of it is you're so young looking as well. You
not." Oh
know,
yeah,
as well. So
thank you.
the
But
dimples
another
don't
part,
help.
they don't know. But one part is like
Yeah.
when people, kind of understand that your shit, all the information that you need to know, then it's super important that you find a way to kind of articulate that without chumping people down. And then also just being very, very strict. Like my sets, I usually only hire people that I've worked with, before in the past. So that's super helpful because I know their vibe, their energy. I know that the respect level that they have for me. And then if I'm on set and people are disrespectful, then they just, don't come back anymore. And, so it's like you can be nice, but when someone's disrespectful, then you just kind of change gears.
Yeah. Now,
Hmm.
so for some people who might be out there who are interested in doing what you're doing, what would your advice be as far as getting started? Where do you say is the best way? If school isn't an option, or if school is an option, what what degree or class do you think helped you the most to where you are now?
I would say it's experience. Because although I went to school for film, when people say I'm going to go to school for film or I'm going to go get a master's in film, I'm like, don't do it. Do you want to teach? Do you want to be a film theorist? Don't do it because it's really about experience. And so the first thing I would do is like, watch videos on YouTube. There's so much free content on how to get started. Then after that is, sometimes you have to create a project. So if you want to direct, I would write something so that you could direct it. And then it's, partnering with a videographer if you don't know how to shoot. If you do know how to shoot, then it's shooting it and you get better and better. If you want to be a producer, then it's connecting with different, directors and writers. And then if you aren't sure, it's just saying, hey, Miss Producer or Mr. Director, can I come on your set and help? So the biggest thing is just, really getting started and also on YouTube, looking at different videos helps you define like what position you want to have on set.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's great. Okay. And that's really good information. Now I'm going to ask this one because it's kind of a personal question because it's come up to me quite a lot. People have asked me to produce a lot of their films. And I'll be honest, I'm like, because my dad's a producer, I feel a lot of like, wait, you have to work your way up to that. I don't really know what I'm doing yet. So just hearing you say that, I'm curious, what more would you suggest makes a good producer, or what kind of skill sets would you say would be the most important for people to learn to become
Hmm.
a really good producer? Like, where should I start looking
Yeah.
on YouTube, or what kind of videos you think would be most beneficial for that?
And there are so many levels of producing.
Yeah.
And I always say that you don't have to like have had 10 years of experience to start. You can have one good project and that could be your first one, and so the thing is just like having one. Sorry, my dog is 15 and
He's
angry.
all right. Look, this is everybody has to adapt to real life right now. So this is live. That's the joy of live. It happens on Kimmel and all the other people as well.
And all the other people.
Yeah,
Hold
I'm
on,
like,
let me
wait, I can't think of anybody's name right now, but I'm too
what
busy looking at the list. I'm sorry.
is that? And then some my sister's in the next room. I'm like, can you get Tuffy? Hello? Can you open the door and get Tuffy for me? Okay.
Now, what kind of dog is Tucky?
He's a Maltese. He'll be 15
That's what
in 2 months.
I have. Okay, I gotta see him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, mine's way downstairs, and my daughter's obviously FaceTime with my cousin, so he's not useful right now. But I would love to see him.
Oh, well, she just let him out the door too.
Oh,
He's so just
we'll
kidding.
share pictures later as dog moms.
Yeah.
I need to figure out how to groom mine, so that's another reason why I wanted to see yours and get some.
Oh yeah. So I actually took him to the groomers yesterday.
Oh, I
Mm-hmm,
need to
mm-hmm.
research see if any groom, because I haven't even looked at all, just assuming they were
Hmm.
all closed. But
Yeah, because I had to take him to Banfield to get some medicine,
okay,
and so they pick him up curbside. And so they have a few places like Banfield or Petco. They'll
perfect.
like pick your dog out outside and take him and bring him back. But he was just looking like you seen what's the guy Tom Hanks when he was in Castaway at the
Yeah.
very That's how my dog looked.
My poor baby. He started well, so we took him out yesterday and he just kept like tripping almost. I was like, I don't think it's the
Oh,
grass. I think it's
yes,
his hair because he's
this
not
is
used to
hair.
having that much hair. Because
Yes,
normally around this time of the year, we always cut him really short because he has allergies as well. So
same
just
here.
like getting
Yep.
all that pollen in his fur is a bad
Mhm.
idea. So
That's him. He's skinned down super low. But
okay.
so getting back to the question about where to start with producing, I would say the first thing is like defining the type of producer that you want to be. So if you want to be a line producer and you work directly with crew members and hiring them and locations and things like that, or if you want to be an executive producer, which is let me go and find the money for this project or find the network that it's going to be on, or it might be a post-production producer, which is you only deal with the after it's filmed stuff, so the editing, the coloring, the visual effects producing. So I think first is defining what type of producer that you want to be. And I actually offer courses on producing and directing and stuff on my website too. I did a few last month, and so they're super fun. So that way I kind of share all of my knowledge because I'm liking producing less and directing more.
Okay.
And I love teaching, and it's so fun when people have like their aha moments. So yeah, so you can take my courses or you can take courses online, but just the main thing is just figuring out what type of producer you want to be
Right.
and how to start, and not thinking that you need years of experience because you don't.
No, I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely learning every day because I thought for the longest time I've been working mainly in front of the camera, and when I was working behind the camera, it was as a makeup artist, and that's where I was trained.
Mm-hmm.
So now that as I'm getting older and things are changing and joints don't work like they used to, I'm
Yeah.
starting to notice other areas that I might enjoy, and so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
let's see what I can do because I. This is a great question for you to possibly answer as well, because filming hasn't started yet in Georgia yet, but what are some of the things? Because there's been like Lionsgate released some information. There was something in I think it was in Variety. There's been different articles of different things that they're different regulations that they're going to start
Mm-hmm.
implementing to bring back for filming. What are some of the different things that you hope or want to see that changes or maybe stays the same as far as how films are going to change in the future now that Corona is going to be possibly an issue?
I know. I hope that things would be a bit more transparent because a lot of times on productions they aren't. So I think this is kind of forcing productions to be more transparent with crew about what's going on, so that people aren't left in the dark. Because sometimes it's confusion just because everybody doesn't know the same information. So
Right.
I think that's the biggest part. Hopefully, the transparency will go up a bit more. And so I know a few productions like RCA Records, they're still doing a few music videos here.
Okay.
And so one of the regulations that they gave my friend's Motion Family was that only 6 people could be on set. And so Motion Family is 3 guys that make the Motion Family up. So I'm like, I'm like, which one of the 3 is going to be on set, and how are you guys going to decide? And that includes the artist. So just kind of, figuring out who's necessary, who's not, should be interesting.
It's going to be a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't worked on many music videos, but the one music video that everybody probably would know was a J-Lo video, and 6 people wouldn't have done it. Because
No.
I think 6 people was just her entourage
Our
alone.
team, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now that I
Mm-hmm.
remember it, I definitely know that. Um, so also looking at some of your work, you've also worked in commercial work. What are some
Mm-hmm.
of the as a director, as an editor, what are some of the things that stick out to you as far as doing commercial work that's so different from doing music videos? I mean, I'm just assuming.
Commercials, you have more time,
Okay.
and that is the best part. It's not rushed. Like music videos, you usually will have maybe 2 weeks, but usually it's like a week to plan everything. But commercials, you have more time, and then it's the communication is always a little bit better because you need to know exactly how things are going to look before you shoot and after. And I think I just love the overall communication part, because since it's more corporate, there's a certain level of, professionalism. Music videos, you just never know what you're getting sometimes.
Only imagine.
Yes, it's
That's
just like
why I've
what
seen some of them.
personality type, and people kind of base it on how they feel business should go sometimes. So it can be interesting.
Now, how much, as far as like getting talent or even deciding the look of it, how much control do you have as the director for commercials? I mean, do they come with you already with like storyboard ideas of what they want, or do you get to start from the very beginning? This like knowing what the product is, this is what I want it to look like. Like where is your part in executing all of that?
It can be both. Sometimes the brand already has an idea of what they want to do, but most times they'll say just general information. Like for Head and Shoulders, they said we want to create some online pre-roll videos for our new Head and Shoulders line for Black women. Go. And I was like, all right. So,
And that was a great video. I wish I'd cut that one too, but since I was kind of quick on time today, I didn't get to show that one. But I will post it later because it's a really good. I can relate to the, issues of the dry scalp problem. Every once in a while, you're like, oh,
yes. And that one is one of 4. I actually presented them with 3 different ideas, just because it's great to always be an overachiever because you never know who else is pitching to that client. So I presented them with 3 ideas, and they liked them so much they wanted to create a 4th one out of the 3 too. So we actually did 4 spots. So some more will be coming out pretty soon.
Well, you just opened the door for a brand new question. What is the process, I guess, from the very beginning, and even with commercials, like you have to pitch to become the director? Like
We did.
Start me all from the very beginning of that, because I'm as the actor, I don't really get to know what happens in pre-production that much with film. I mean, with commercials and so on, unless it's my father's film, obviously. But that's
okay. So this kind of started interesting. So I was the creative director of the Cut Life for about 3 years, which was my friend's brand. So I just kind of hopped on and helped her grow the brand. I made the logo, all that good stuff.
The hair one?
Yeah, those are hers.
I just met her at She Prevails. Small world. Yeah, I interviewed her this past summer.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I recently just stopped doing work with the Cut Life as much, just because I want to move more into directing, and I built the brand up with her really high, like about YouTube page and like that
too, because now I want to know about that as well, because a lot of people are working online now, so you can give a lot of great advice and they can find out more from you. So don't let me forget that part, because that's fascinating. I'm gonna put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it also. And then so we were at so My Black is Beautiful hired us. They hire us every year to go to Essence Fest. So last year, yes, I love them. And so last year, the marketing director was there because My Black is Beautiful is under Procter & Gamble. So the Procter & Gamble marketing manager was there. And so I was talking to her, and Tahira was like, our clients for the Cut Life don't know that you do production. I was like, they sure don't. So I got up the courage. I was like, let me just tell her, and I'll just give her my website and she can look at it. And so she actually happened to look at it. And so she wanted me to work with her on one project, and then she put me within their system so that everybody else within the company, if they needed a video or anything done, then I could pitch on their projects. So I saw one project for Head and Shoulders. I was like, oh, let me pitch on that. So I pitched on it, and then they selected me for it. And so after that, we went through like the bid process of just, deciding how much it would cost and what we could do it for. And for this project, I brought on producers, Motion Family. They actually produce also. So they produced this project for me, which was helpful. So I could just really, get into my director zone. And then from there, the concepts that I presented, we just kind of defined them more so they fit, their brand requirements a bit more. And then we went through that for a few months. And then when I work with brands, I try really hard to understand their brand so that when I do present them with ideas, they're on point. Right. So for them, I presented them, of course, women with curly hair, browner skin, things like that I knew that would resonate with them and what they were going for. And that was super helpful. So most of my answers like, okay, cool. Yes, the things I did for them were so on point, they didn't even show up to set. And I felt really good about that. I was just like, they really trusted that I understood what they were trying to say, their vision and all their specs. So it worked out really cool. And the people I presented for them, the talent, were all yeses too. Like I still give them other options, but I was pretty sure of who they would select. And most of the people they selected were people I'd worked with in the past on my free projects. So when I got a paid one, I was like, hey, y'all, thank you for doing that film for me for free. Come be in this commercial.
Okay, hint to all the actors out there. Sometimes you got to work for free to get that real job. Look, exposure pays off. Make sure
it does. Because them helping me with my reel, because the projects they would work on for free helped me build up my reel to even, get those projects. So when I get paid projects, I always hire the same like crew and actors that work for me on the free project. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
nice. That
Mhm.
way to pay it forward. I think that's very
Yeah.
important that people do that because I know I would do the same thing. And I'm one
Mhm.
of those that I always look out for the people that look out for me. So
Mhm. Yes.
now, so let's go back to Cut Life. I don't want to forget
Yes.
about that. Since you are a digital strategist, I can't say it when I'm like
It's
digital strategist.
mhm.
Oh, forget it. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say,
I
people.
know what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're
A
putting
digital
down.
person.
Yeah.
She's a digital strategist. There
A
we go.
digital girl in a digital world. Yes.
Yes, and we're all a digital girl now. Sorry, material. Never mind. I'll stop. I can't sing just because I got a mic. But back to the original story. Tell me about Cut Life. How did you get started with that and with Tahira? Am I saying your right name?
Yeah, that's right, Tahira.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, Tahira and I were friends for a long, long time. We met in college. And then, so a few years ago, she had a BlackBerry and she was like, so when I get an iPhone, I'm going to like post pictures of women with short hair. And at that time, my real hair was like kind of like super long. And I was just like, that is the silliest thing I've ever heard before. and, and so she was like, can you create a logo? I'm like, sure. So I made the logo for the Cut Life. And then so I was like, come over to my house, and my boyfriend at the time made dinner, and we launched the Cut Life. So she's on the couch with her other friend that's helping her upload images. And so within a week, the Cut Life had 1,000 followers. And I was like, okay. And then within like maybe 2 months, she had 10,000 followers. And so whenever she would need video content or graphics, I was always the person that would do it. So I was kind of like the unofficial partner with the Cut Life.
Okay.
And then so when she got to maybe like 500,000 followers, I was like, you know what? There is so much more that you could do. And I felt like she was about to like miss certain marks. So I was
Right.
like, let me just officially join on. And then that way, you won't miss out. So like at that time, she didn't have a Facebook page, the YouTube page, but only had 1,000 subscribers on there. The website wasn't monetized. She didn't have any blogs. So when I came aboard, I monetized the website by adding ads on there. And I hired on about 10 interns and vloggers who could all contribute content to our website so that we can say, hey, followers of our Instagram page, come look at our website. So that way we're getting website traffic. And we start getting about 50,000 hits a day. And then also YouTube content. So I would reach out to people and say, hey, can you create this video for the Cut Life? And in exchange, they get exposure. And so we did that consistently to where now the Cut Life has 160,000 subscribers and 19 million views.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, let me write that down again. No, like,
So for me, it's been a great case study.
wow.
I did branding for like TiVo and Coca-Cola, and I used to even do it for like Trey Songz and Jeezy back in the day. So that was cool to be able to put like all that digital experience that I have and I don't use. And so I recently stopped doing as much work with the Cut Life within the past, year or so, just to kind of fully concentrate on directing. I even started doing less producing just to like go in more with directing because I felt like the time is now. I need to just go as hard as I can for myself. And this is actually the second year I decided not to take on like interns or mentees. That's because I'm such a teacher that it was just so much energy. So I'm like, let me just put all the energy into myself a bit. So that's what's happening now.
So looking to the future, what would be your ultimate dream job goal? Like what would you, since you're putting all your energy into directing, what would you like to direct?
Oh, I would love to direct television shows. Of course, shows like Insecure would be so amazing. But just, directing television shows, directing films, a few music videos for certain artists, and, commercials, and still producing projects for people that I like. For me, it's all about vibes and, and being happy with yourself, being happy with your career. So, and then teaching, I would love to teach, be a professor.
Oh wow. So you definitely have a lot that you would like to accomplish. And it sounds like you're well on your way. You've definitely accomplished quite a bit. And again, I'm looking at your resume again. And I mean, wow. So you think you can dance. You did the casting and locations for that.
Yes, that's before, like when I did that, it was before it was even called So You Think You Can Dance. I forgot the name of the show at the time. But that's when I was working with Sierra, and so they reached out to me because I had an agency.
Okay.
Actually, no, it was before, maybe a few months before I started working with her. And I
Okay.
had an agency, and they were like, "Oh yeah, can you help?" I'm like, "Hmm." And so it was cool to see that develop. I'm like, "Oh, that was so you think you can dance?"
I mean, okay. And then, of course, you worked on the BET Hip Hop Awards, Red Carpet. What was that like being the videographer on that? Because that's very quick paced, and you have to.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess working with BET, it was probably really easy to get celebrities to stop by for interviews. But what was that like? Just working so quickly and fast, and
Mhm.
I believe BET they pre-record it, but it's a live event, so it's a little bit
It
of
is.
both. So how
Mhm.
what is that like working on that? Seems like a
So both years I was hired by separate people. One year I was hired by Bossip to be their videographer,
okay.
and then another year I was hired by Sprite, and then the host of that was Karen
Mhm.
Civil. So in both of those cases, people knew the Bossip reporter and
Okay.
people knew Karen Civil. So once they saw their faces, they would say, "Oh, Karen," and kind of come over there and interview with us. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was pretty easy.
Because there was I can't remember what award show it was, or maybe it wasn't even an award show. It might have been just a movie opening where they were making a point of saying a lot. I mean, clearly this is not an issue at the BET Awards, but other awards shows or different movies that with Black media or even Black reporters that sometimes they're pushed all the way towards the end of the carpet. So by the
Hmm.
time the celebrities have pretty much already talked everyone out, that they end up
Right.
walking past them or they get ignored. So I just was
Hmm.
curious if you ever had to go through something like that or
I mean, that definitely did happen though, because like it was, people that maybe were not as known as Karen Civil. So say it was two people beside us, people just walk past them, they'll, talk to Karen and say, "All right, peace out," and go, so it definitely because on the other end, the publicists want to get the most amount of engagement. So if they don't know you, then they aren't going to take a chance on, stopping by there. Which is kind of like, I don't know. I
understand.
would stop by everybody because you just never know where fans come from.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
just like we're with your career, one day you're a director, the next day you're a producer, the next day, like you just never know who the person you're interviewing with, what their day job or their other job might be next time. And they might
Right.
remember that time you walked right by them like they didn't
They
exist.
exactly. Oh, for the time I was hired by Bossip, I'd actually gotten food poisoning that night. And so the morning of, I'm still suffering from food poisoning, but I talked to them and I knew that they didn't have another videographer because I think we were supposed to start at like 10 a.m. and it
Mm,
was 9 a.m. And I'm just like, I'm not going to make it. And they're like, "Well, we don't have anybody else." I was like, "It's fine." So
yeah.
I went and just, drank some Gatorade or what I have nothing. I drank a Sprite to help me like throw up. And then I went onto the carpet. I'm just like, "No, it's fine. I just would throw up if I need to, but it's cool."
Wow.
We
Well,
got her
that's definitely
done.
going to be different for after Corona because you won't be able to come to set then. I don't know what they're going to do on
No,
those situations.
right.
I mean, that could be one of the symptoms allegedly. So,
Mhm.
it's going to be a different world.
It's gonna be crazy, yeah.
I mean, I'm like thinking about it because my agent had reached out to me about a possible commercial. I won't say who or where or anything, just in case I still end up doing it. But at first, I was just like, I was so excited about, yay, get back to work. And then I started thinking, like, wait, what are the
Wait a
precautions
minute.
they're doing? And then
Mhm,
what is the deal
mhm.
with the makeup? And do I need to bring
Right,
cologne, like lash? Like the
right.
whole part of that being on the talent side is so much different. So
It
it's
is,
me
yeah.
realize more about, oh, wait, let me find other options.
Mhm.
That I'm still working
Yeah,
in a job I love. So, or the
yeah,
industry I love. But
and what's interesting too, I think, is that some of the things I feel like we should have been doing already, like washing our hands more, disinfecting everything. So, I mean, some good will come out of it, but it's still gonna be super interesting how to move forward.
very true. I was watching I was on Instagram and was able to win a free sanitation class from a makeup group. I was just like, oh, that's awkward. I mean, they were like the next person that comments, and I just happened to wave anyway because they had
Mhm.
on, and I was like, oh, I won. So I was watching the video, and because I was a trained esthetician, a lot of the stuff is the same things they teach you in esthetician school. But then it started making me think, like, I just don't see any makeup artist ever taking a mascara spool to their eyeshadows to scrape out eyeshadow before applying it.
Mhm.
I just don't. I can't imagine seeing makeup art. I hope they do it because
Right.
it's deadly that's going on. But at the same time, in a time crunch, sometimes you're working in places where you
You
don't have
just
a
gotta
lot
do
of
it.
access to stuff. You might not even have a window to work with, better yet, a bathroom sometimes.
Right.
So
Man,
overall, I'm very interested to see what changes they can make to keep us all safe, because
me too.
definitely do want to go back to filming, but we got to do it in a safe way.
Yeah. And as a producer, you'll be the one making those decisions like, well, how can I decide what works best for my crew on set? And what are the, regulations that we have? And what are the rules and all that good stuff?
No, my dad, he's a unit production manager, and he's been going to a lot of union meetings, and he was like, sent me all, like, soon as
Oh, union stuff, I bet it's super crazy.
man, he sent me so many. He's like, your life is worth more than that, and then sent me this email of an article that I was like, okay, yeah, you want because I'm sure you can relate to this as well. I mean, have you worked any jobs outside of Georgia, or any union jobs outside of Georgia at all?
Not the jobs that I have worked on that were union were all in Georgia. All the out-of-state jobs have been non-union, thankfully.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, one thing I've noticed sometimes with some production or some companies, that they can obviously afford to do union jobs in their state, but what they'll do is they'll come to smaller markets to get away with not having to worry about child hours and labor laws. Like, they can get away with a lot of things that they can't get away with in union states, or
Right.
maybe even union productions for that matter.
Mhm.
So there's just
Mhm.
that scary part of, maybe they're filming it here because they know there'll be more lax. There won't be as much of an issue for them to
Yeah.
not.
I mean, if it's a non-union production, for sure. But
Mhm.
here, the union is definitely starting to get stricter. Like, even with, especially if the talent is like SAG too,
Right.
then it's becoming a bit more strict. Just because Georgia's cranking up. Well, I should say
Okay.
the city of Atlanta, but there are definitely parts of Georgia, like you come out to Lithonia and places where you can get away with anything.
Mhm.
Hmm.
No, I remember my daughter booked a commercial, and it was the first time that she had booked a commercial. And so we were all excited, and we were there for 10 hours. And I just kept thinking, is this legal? Like, I didn't know kids could stay on jobs this
It's not for
long.
kids. No, no,
And I was like, kind of like,
no.
what is going on? And it wasn't even considered overtime, because it's a right to work state. 10 hours is considered video, 8 hours for print, and regardless
Mhm.
of the age of the talent. I was just like, did not know that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now
Yeah.
I know to ask more questions, because I grew up in a union family. My dad's union, my mom's union. So
Mhm.
I didn't know
Yeah,
any different.
non-union stuff is like a free fall.
That's why I'm like more nervous now, because before it's just a matter of, they might budge on the hours, or they won't have a
Mhm.
tutor or someone on set like they should for union projects they do. But so it's just,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah, and
learning.
and sometimes if it's depending on the production company, like I used
Mhm.
to produce the packaging for like Target products or Walmart products for baby toys, basically. And
Oh
so
yeah.
the babies, we would have infants, and so they can only be on set for 3 hours max. So I think it sometimes depends on the production company too. A lot of good ones really try to stick to the rules.
Well, that would be a first.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe this is, I won't say anymore, because I still like working. And I still live here, and I can't move. So, moving on. We're gonna stop talking about that. I might get a phone call. Oh no. Gosh, yeah, that kind of scares me. That, yeah. So going back to some of the different things that you've worked with, and you said you would love to do directing for films and TV. Who are
Yes.
some of the people that maybe you've already worked with, or some people that you haven't worked with that you really would love to work with, just from seeing some of their work, whether it's somebody behind the camera or in front of the camera? Who are some of the people you would be interested in?
Oh, so many people. Ashley Bain, that played on Dear White People. I love her. I think she's so awesome. I've been watching her since she was on YouTube on this series that Black and Sexy TV has, and she was a character in one of their YouTube shows before her current show. So I would love to work with her, just because I just love seeing her growth. And I'm like, oh, she is so awesome.
Mhm.
And then there are a few other, because sometimes I look at people just like, as a producer, I have directors that I would want to work with, and then as a director, I have producers that I would want to work with too. There's this guy on Instagram. His name is Ben the Writer, and he writes for Insecure and a number of shows.
Okay.
I love to work with what is his name? James Lopez. James, I believe that's his name. There's a number of people. Ava DuVernay, of course.
Yeah, I think she's on. I know for sure almost every woman that works in the film industry wants to work with her, just to see that she went from a publicist to a director.
Yes,
she started
yes.
kind of later in life on that switch as well. So it's such an inspiration, and just she's changed the look of film and TV, like the way she even films her shows are so different. And I remember at first watching her shows, I'm like, I can't watch it. Like, I remember just like, what is she doing? She's breaking up. And then after a while, I was like, wait, but this makes it more interesting and it's different.
It's
and
beautiful.
you kind of like you can see that she's not just the characters on screen are part of the show, but so is the whole scene and the visuals and the location. Like everything kind of has a meaning in the shots. So I've learned a lot from her from watching her shows. I really enjoy her work.
Yeah, me too.
Especially Wrinkle in Time with my daughter. I would have to say that every time.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
Such a cool,
your daughter, you mean your producer?
Yeah, it was such a cool. I mean, I don't know. Like, I can't think of any other film that was remotely close to like that with people of color other than The Wiz, where it was like sciencey future and we still existed in the future, and it was a lot. You know, I can't really think of anything. And The Wiz was such a big pivotal movie in my childhood. So
I always say that. I'm like, it's so interesting when you see shows that are fantasy and future. I'm like, why are there no black people? Like even Game of Thrones, I love that show. I'm just like, this is a made up show. Why can't we like make up more black people in here?
Why are they like getting killed off in the same season they get introduced to? Let's talk about that. I mean, the way Game of Thrones ended, I'm still very bitter about. So, because I mean, we can talk. I mean, did it not seem a little bit like it was just reels for all the different actors to show their different range of their, like, as a character? Like, it didn't even make sense almost that the show, the way we went all this time to see the Queen of Dragons just fall. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but it's been out for a zillion years.
I don't think it could have, like, you know, I think we wanted the show to stay on so long that it's just like nothing was right. Nothing would have been right. Would have been right was if you guys had give us another season.
I mean, maybe, but like we were very committed in our house that we actually rewatched the entire series from the beginning before the final series.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, to see the Red Wedding twice and not get
you know, so funny. I was just about to say I could do the Red Wedding. No, ma'am.
I mean, it was worth it to see Prince Philip die. I think that was his name. I don't remember. Whoever the bad Prince King, I can't think of his name, but whoever he was, it was worth it to see him die twice, but everything else wasn't worth the ending. It was just very, I don't know, it was different.
And also that was a season where they wrote them that was not a part of the books too, right? So maybe that was the different thing.
That could be it. Because I know that they were supposed to be a spinoff, and I think it was canceled because they were that mad at the Game of Thrones people afterwards. I kind of feel bad. I'm adding to that, but that was a lot of time of my life I put into that show. You know, like that's another thing. Like I'm usually one of those. Depending on who's in the show, will I even give the first series an option anymore? Because I'm like, no, I don't like getting all caught into these characters and then
like Watchmen. Have you seen Watchmen before?
I did.
I'm like, why is it only one season? Why would you do that to us?
I was so sold into that show. I loved it. Like it finally started making a lot more sense.
It did.
And it was like, it
did. It took so long for it to make sense because every episode they're giving you some new information. I'm just like, what? You know. And then to introduce that fine man as he's the one. He why?
And I can't remember her name, but she was on, it was some Southern show where interior designers, but she was on the phone and she would leave these jokes and different things. Like it was such a weird, you know, when she was in the telephone booth and she was calling up to the guy wherever he was, and she would leave these long monologues and they were just, so interesting yet so weird. And I was
Mhm.
completely sold into that show, and just kind of sad it just never got to see exactly where, or I guess that's where it was supposed to go. But I guess it's a comic book, so I guess I got to find a
It
comic
is.
book to continue it.
Yeah.
But well, I want to be mindful of your time. It's 6:46. So is there anything that you would like to share or tell everyone to look out for? Because I know you got some more stuff probably cooking up that's gonna go viral and
I hope so.
yeah.
I mean, I have some ideas of stuff that I want to do. I have some more Uncle Pucci videos that are coming out.
Oh yeah, is that really your uncle? Let's
It
talk.
is my uncle.
Oh, so he
Hmm.
naturally, that's really how he dresses.
It is.
Is that your dog, the Maltese that's in that video?
That's him. That's Tuffy. Yep, it
That's how
is.
you know you're a Maltese mom. You recognize other
Yeah,
Malteses in the
yeah.
background of a video.
I was just like really Tuffy. But the video, I just took it on my phone to test my angles for my camera. So
Okay.
that's why Tuffy was just, doing what he needed to do. But yeah, Uncle Pucci is my mom's younger brother. So
Okay.
that's why another reason is the content is so important for me because it's my mom's brother, so I have to answer to her if I don't
Yeah.
present him correctly, and so just kind of making sure. And then he's always dressed like that, so people are always want to take pictures of him ever since
Okay.
I've known him.
Wait, I want to back up a little bit just in case people don't know who Uncle Pucci is. On if you go to Instagram and you check out Maya's Table, or even Facebook Maya's Table, or even Snoop Dogg's Instagram, because Snoop Dogg reposted it because Uncle Pucci is a character within himself. He likes to dress a certain way. He's like a throwback, but with a new style. He has so much flavor. Please tell me a little bit about him as well. Like the reason behind the way he dresses and so on. Because I know he said something about he wore his headband for Tupac. Like, what's the connection? Where does this all start for him even?
For him, he told me it started. So my uncle XL, which is his brother, my mom's brother, Uncle Pucci said he learned how to dress from him, and just kind of made his style his own. So he's been dressing like that for Uncle Pucci is close to 70 now. So he's been dressing
Wow.
like that since I've known him.
He does not look 70
Close to 70.
or even close. Well, I
Hmm.
know the saying black don't crack, but he
I'm
does
like,
not. I would have.
yeah, he's actually 68, and so and so he's always, he just that's his style. The video today I released was about him talking about why he dresses that way, and it's more just because he's happy inside and at peace with himself and who he is as a person. And so the interesting part is that he's vegan, and so every time he comes over for Christmas or anything, he's a raw vegan. So my mom would like put out like some
Wow.
nuts and some fruit and stuff for him, or
Wait,
sometimes he
back
just
up.
won't eat.
Sorry forgive me for interrupting, but how long has he been a vegan? Because even that, my
Hmm.
dad's a pescatarian, so you don't really hear a lot of older Black men who are plant-based, especially raw.
Hmm.
So I want to know
Yeah,
what made him make that transition as well.
he was vegetarian for about 30 years total vegetarian, and 15 of those years vegan.
Okay.
And he said that when he went vegan, he had a boost of his energy and just made him feel better. So that's why his skin is so nice and everything. And so he is so that's always been so interesting to me. Like whenever I would tell people, or it's okay, it was always really casual for us because that's just who he is. So whenever I was like, "Oh, I'm here with my family," they would say, "Who is that dressed up?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Pucci."
Even
So
the nickname Uncle Poochie is so.
mhm. Uncle Pucci. And so me and all his nieces and nephews, we call him Pucci. The rest of them call him his real name, like Eugene or Gino, but for us, he's Uncle Pucci. So him and I, last year decided that we're gonna start taking pictures, and then so this year I wanted to wait to get a different camera, and I kept telling him, all right, I'm gonna get a different camera. And then one morning he came over because he left one of his fur coats at my parents' house, and I happened to be there, and he was like, "Maya, get your camera and come on." I was like, "But it's not the right camera," and I just took his video, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's just do it." So,
Yeah. Well,
uh-huh.
that just proves that if you might not have the right equipment, or you're looking or you're waiting for the right equipment, the right this, the right
Mhm.
that, and sometimes you just got to shoot it and do it because otherwise
Yes,
there'll never be the perfect time or the perfect
yes.
equipment. And look at it, it's completely viral. I think over 2 million views on Snoop
Mm.
Dogg's channel.
Yeah, and Timberland reposted it and some other people too, so
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool.
So when viral things happen, how did you feel because you went to bed 3 a.m., you posted this video, you wake up the next day and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Is that
Sometimes I know, like for the Miss Tina video and then the one I did for my birthday, I kind of recreated somebody else dancing. I
okay.
knew those two were gonna go, if not viral, just pretty far. Usually because I'm giggling when I'm doing the edit. So usually when that happens,
Okay. That's a good
so
sign. Got
that
it.
is a good sign. So I'm just like, I am tickled. So usually if I'm tickled about something, then and then with the Pucci one, the that one I kind of just posted just to kind of have some content to post. And I
Okay.
posted it actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then
Mm.
Snoop reposted and added my same caption. He didn't credit me, but it's cool. But with that, since I didn't put like my name on it or Pucci's name on it at the time because I was like, I want people to feel like it's genuine because it really is genuine, and I don't want it to seem like too branded.
Okay.
So what I did is after Snoop posted it, I just had people comment with my name or Pucci's name. And I also did an ad that targeted all of Snoop's fans. And so they helped Pucci's page go from 100 to 1,200 followers.
So that's how you use ads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sign up for your class. And everyone else out there who's looking at working in digital world,
Mm-hmm.
Maya is the lady to go to. I'm like trying to remember which
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Oh, there we go. Maya is the lady to go to. And she's got classes on your website, and it's just mayatable.com, right?
Mayatable.com/courses. Then I have some producing courses on there, directing courses, and I have a digital strategy course. And a portion of that is social media. And I limit the classes to under 10 people. And I can actually go and say, okay, for your page, this is exactly what you need to do. So it's been cool to see people actually do my recommendations. I'm like, I told you it would work for you.
Right.
So I just try to make it, kind of intimate. And because I hate workshops where you take it and you don't understand or it's super general. So this is one where for you, let me tell you exactly for you what you should do. So
Okay. Oh, that's
yeah.
great. And plus with it being 10, is it like a Zoom so everyone can kind of
Mhm.
also like work together and chime in, maybe
It
find that
is. Yep.
network? Oh, that's
It is.
good.
Everybody chimes in and talks together. And usually it's like under 5 people. One time we had 7, but it was still cool. But so yeah, we're all able to chime in. People can ask specific questions that they have because sometimes you just may need to know one thing to unlock another thought that you've had,
Mhm.
or just to be like, oh, your aha moment. So yeah, they're. I try to be super insightful and just as helpful as I can.
Oh, that's great because I
Mhm.
know for myself, I don't know about any other influencers or other people who are content creators. When you kind of work in a bubble by yourself, it's nice to have other people just to even just spitball ideas with, or just,
Mhm.
have someone else like, girl, are you sure that's what you want to do? Or
Right.
that's a
Mhm.
great idea. Just having, especially someone that works in the industry as well, as opposed to family members or maybe people who are just friends, or of course, going to be like, oh, I like it, or give advice, but not really know exactly what they're talking about. So,
Right, or
yeah.
sometimes friends and family my friends and family don't, but sometimes they'll just say yes to stuff. My friends and family will, like, give constructive criticism, but sometimes you do need that voice of a person that doesn't know you to either validate you or say like, "Okay, that's cool, but maybe do something else,
Mhm.
different." Mhm.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, I can't thank you enough for saving me today and coming in to the rescue, to my rescue, when my original poor Jen is sick and she's not feeling well, and I really wish her well. But
Aw.
I have to say, I am so grateful that you were able to answer my Batman call and
Yeah, no
save the day
problem.
and come in. And I'm so grateful for the Zoom meeting you already had today, that you were prepped and ready for it.
Mhm. Had my lipstick and my wig on, I'm like, "Okay."
I hear you. I'm not gonna waste the beat if I don't have to. That's why a lot of times I'll go live later. So I'm like, oh, my makeup looks too good, just to go wash it right off.
Just wash that off, yeah.
But I want to make sure that you get out all your information. But I also want to tell you, because Septosa Foster says, I love Maya.
I love her too.
Yeah, I just talked to
I
her
love her so
today. It's such a small
she's
world. Everybody
amazing.
knows everybody.
Yeah, that's why you gotta be nice to people too, because you just never know
Yeah,
who
she's up in
knows.
North Carolina now. She's
Oh,
runs the
really?
school. Yeah, she runs a school here that's for performing arts in
Oh, that's
Wilson.
amazing.
They
Mhm.
have it's a charter school, like the longest, I think the longest living, or that's not the right term, but one of the longer schools here, and I think her mom owns it as well. That's really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's a
That's
lot
what
of hellos from fans and so on. But I'm so happy to have you, and thank you so much for answering all my fun questions.
Thank you too. This is awesome.
It was great. Anytime you want to come back, you're more than welcome. I love learning from you. And that's a good idea. Maybe we can even do a class one day together.
I'm down.
Let's see. But I appreciate it so much. Oh, wait, I got that on camera.
Damn.
Next time in Atlanta, if you got a job, I know you need an actress. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for being on with me today. I cannot thank you enough. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I really look forward to seeing what you come up with next.
Same here. And send me your reel when you get a chance to, because I actually watch them. I do.
I'll send it right now. Just kidding.
You're like, damn, you already have it. You have it right now.
It's airdropped. No, it's funny. I just recently re-edited it, so it's like perfect timing.
That's awesome.
But again, thank you again for being on, and I appreciate you. And sorry, viewers, this may be my last episode if she needs me. No, I'm kidding. Let me stop. I love my job too. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And cuddle your puppy for me.
Okay.
Well, Uncle Pucci, hi. That's so cool.
I sure will.
All right. You have a good rest of the night. All right,
you too.
bye-bye. Bye. How much fun was Maya? I am so glad she was able to work with me today and be my guest. It was very last minute. I got the call or the email, I guess about 2:30, and by 3:00, she was saying yes. So thank you so much again for making that transition. I know you guys, I don't know if everyone got the notice that I had switched from Jen to Maya. As soon as Jen is feeling well, we will reschedule. I told her no pressure. We will wait till she feels better. I didn't want her to be in any rush because we all get sick sometimes, and didn't want to risk making her feel any pressure or rush. But again, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for watching the eSpot. I'll be on again tomorrow, 6:00, every day this week, 6 p.m. And then I have a special Thursday at 2 p.m. with Dr. Anika Goodwin about her magnetic lashes, which I'm not wearing now. I don't know why I pointed at my eyes, except for to tell you these are about to be upgraded with some new lashes. Hopefully, I'm going to try them out soon. I got my package. Can't wait to try them. All right. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks for watching the eSpot with Camille. I appreciate you.